Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebartogo.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk about the problem of whiskey fungus. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Kathy Cool, Tim Swyatt, and Darren McElroy.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hello, everyone.
Hey, y'all.
Hey-oh. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about whiskey fungus. We'll get to that after the break. For right now, I've got something. I want to throw something to Beka first. I want her to weigh in on this. And then I've got a theory that I'll throw out there, and I'd like to run that by the rest of the group. So, just starting out here, Beka, this is geared towards you. So, Darren has never been to Key West, but he is very opinionated on Key West, that it's a horrible place to go, and why would anybody want to go there? What do you think about Darren weighing in on Key West and telling people that it's terrible?
I don't want Darren there anyways, so this is... You're correct, Darren. It sucks. Oh, no.
Beka says it's true. It must be true.
Yes.
Has to be true. Key West is horrible. I suggest to anyone who's thinking about going to Key West, cancel plans.
You don't want to go.
Do not go. Not to our Key West, but to Key West in general. Stop going. We don't want anyone there. That'd be great.
That would be great.
Prices will go down.
Yes. In January, nobody, for sure you don't want to go there. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yes.
Key West, I mean, I love Key, it's maybe not for Darren.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But
I have a theory.
Maybe he shouldn't just put it all into one thing. It's horrible. It's terrible. Never mind. It's okay for you.
It was so offensive that Tim left the conversation.
He just left.
Tim's pissed about it.
Yeah, he's furious. He was inconsolable. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Jesus, he just left.
So I have a theory. I want to run this by the group as Tim comes back on. I want to run this by the group and see if you guys think that I'm dead on. So say we did get Darren to go to Key West and say we left right now. We're like, hey, we're going to fix this. Somebody stepped up, was listening to the show and be like, I want to send the 5 of you down to Key West and you have a week of fun and we can convince Darren to like it. And the problem I see is Darren would show up down there. He would take advantage of the free trip and he'd get there. And of course, this time of the year, you're talking about mid 80s to maybe topping out at about 90 this time of the year. Darren would be dressed as follows. He would have on his cowboy boots. He would have on his jeans. And then he would have on a t-shirt with a flannel shirt over it, almost like a jacket. He'd be walking around with us. And then he'd be talking about how terrible it is there, because the problem is he doesn't even know how to dress to go to a tropical or a beach place. And because he'd make him physically miserable, he feels like the place itself is miserable. I think that's the problem with Darren in a beach type of location.
You know,
Either way, I'd be
Gary
physically.
Weingartner wore appropriate resort wear when he was there. He took his overalls and
Yeah,
popped them
Gary,
out for shorts.
Gary did it fine, but
Yeah.
I've been with Darren at the barrel shop in August, and he comes strolling in with his normal outfit on. So no shorts or anything like that. He doesn't know how to dress for a season or anything.
Well,
he knows one season.
Here's one big problem too. That red hair of Darren's. I get it. He's
That's
gonna
what I
get
was going to
sunburned.
say.
He's gonna get sunburned. He's gonna be uncomfortable. He's just gonna fry. I get it. Trust me. I always walk on the side of the street that's covered by the
Sure,
by the shadow. Obviously,
you're fair skinned. Well, the warden's fair
I
skinned.
burn otherwise. So I'm not sure that it's Darren's type of place.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly. So.
And the other thing that Steve's leaving out, because we talked about this the other day, I have never been on a vacation where I just drink. I'm always hiking and can't be that drunk that I can't finish a hike. And so I'll have a glass or two of whiskey. And it sounds like Key West, I would be rather drunk.
But you know what? Lenny was out there and he did all sorts of active things and had a bike that he used to get everywhere and
stand-up paddleboarding,
snorkeling and.
Do you like snorkeling?
You can go fishing.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like
on a boat.
There's a lot to do down there. There's a lot of activities. There really is.
Yeah, you can actually you can be a certified scuba diver down there. You can get your course done, and then after you do that, you can go lionfish hunting with a spear.
You can kill as many of those as you want.
Yes, they're like a invasive species, so you just can go kill as many of those as you feel like. So that could
good YouTube videos on that, by the way.
Yeah,
that could be fun.
Oddly calming watching them.
As long as Darren didn't just do like all the things that we do the whole time, which is a lot of just drinking, and he did some of the more active things, he'd probably have a good time.
He probably would. He could go parasailing.
You can work on a suntan at Garden of Eden, and
that's an option.
That's an option.
dry tortugas.
Yeah,
take the ride.
That is on the list, so I will have to go to Key West sometime because I want to go to every national park. So
that's a tough one to get to.
Go in the summer.
Do not go in the
nothing
winter.
to do with that place. No, sounds horrible.
Not
not being there. I'm sure it's fantastic. Getting there.
Have you not been there yet, Steve?
No, I get seasick, so I'm terrified. And then I hear all the people that got seasick go down there. I'm like, there ain't no way. I'd be the worst one. Yeah, they'd be talking about me for years.
Summer, the water's like glass.
That's what I hear. But they'd be like, as I'm vomiting profusely, they'd be like, "This is so weird. Normally, it's not like this. This is like the one day when the summer is bad. That would be the trip I'd be on."
What about taking the seaplane out there?
Ooh,
I'm so fat. I don't think they would like me on the thing. Everything's very balanced and that.
If we have to sit on the other side of the plane, and Steve would be on the other side himself.
Yeah, there'd be like three guests on the other side.
Like
I'd be on the one side. I'd be embarrassed.
Exactly.
I'd be embarrassed.
I'm with you, Steve, as a larger gentleman myself.
Right.
Fair enough.
And then the problem for me, the greatest stressful thing for me is if I did get sick on the way out there, then I know there's only one way back, and I got to face it again. I got to face the.
There's actually more than one way back.
Well,
you could just kill yourself.
I guess I could kill myself.
I'm just saying, there's more than one way back.
Maybe I could fake a heart attack and get
body
choppered
bag?
out of there. Get choppered out.
Like you pulled a hammy, you can't make it back. They got to fly you back. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think that Steve, this is something that the general audience doesn't know. How tall are you, Steve?
I am 6'4".
Yeah, most people, for whatever reason, think that Steve is like 5'9".
Wait, he's not 5'9"?
Yeah, literally. I've had people be like, "I didn't know that Steve was so tall," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah,
Steve's a tall dude. He's.
There's a reason why we call him the Bourbon Sasquatch.
Adjust your camera, Steve, where it's just like the top of your head. Yeah, so it's like, wow, he's so tall. Like Darren seems like he's really tall right now.
Right, Darren looks tall.
Also, Tim looks like a short guy here. Right. Tim is not a short guy. How tall are you, Tim?
Tim's a tall guy.
I'm 6'1".
6'1". Yeah.
Yeah.
Tall. We got a lot of tall dudes on the podcast here.
Yeah.
Everyone's tall.
It's like when people are walking into the barrel shop. Damn it! I talked over Kathy again. Kathy, go ahead.
Jesus.
I just said everyone's tall to me.
Oh well, this is true.
Kathy Cool is short, so the audience knows.
Kathy
I
Poole
am
is short.
I'm
I am
5'3".
tall. I'm not short. I am like 5'7.5" or something
She
like
is
that.
there you
a
go.
giant.
And I generally wear some sort of heels, so I'm like Royce always calls me the big woman, not in a mean way, but
The big woman.
it's a big woman. We call these hands the ego killers.
Yes.
The guys can figure that out.
Mine are the
Usually they're
opposite. Mine are the
man
ego
hands.
boosters.
No, we know you don't have hair in your palms, Beka, so we get it. We understand.
Yep. What were you going to say before, Darren? Did you talk?
It's like when people pull into the parking lot and they get out of the car, and me and Steve are trying to decide if they're coming into the barrel shop. If they're over like 6 foot, they're like, "Oh, yep, that's for us." Because everyone that comes in there is pretty tall, like for a high percentage. If
We
they
looked-
back into the spot, they're ours.
Oh yeah. that's
There's all
another
these
thing.
weird quirks that we look for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tall people.
Yeah,
Tall
tall
people
people.
Who like to back
90% of
in.
the tall people that are on that parking lot come to us.
Yeah. My
The
favorite.
rest go to dance class.
Yeah, this is true. There's a lot of that. My favorite, though, is when we have an empty parking lot, nobody on the parking lot, and someone will pull in, they'll pull in the parking lot, come in, and then they'll back into a spot. There's a million pull-throughs, but they will pull down the aisle they're in and then back into a spot. And I'm like, why? Why don't you just pull through a spot? It's easier. You've saved a step. But apparently no one's taught them that. They just know how to back in. So
Von Nieters is one of those people. Everyone loves Von Nieters, but he'll open parking lot, pull through, back right in
right.
every time.
I don't understand. And then when you try to call him out on that, he won't answer the question that you're asking. He asks the question of why do you back in? I don't care the reason why you back in. Rather than be like, oh, the parking lot's empty and you had all these pull throughs. Why did you back in? I want to know why the choice was there to make why he elected not to do the pull through. My question is what justify why you're backing in. And
yeah, I get that there's some like jobs where like it is mandatory that you back in. Like when I worked in the oil field, you had to always be able to quickly escape
Sure.
because of like things that could happen, and so it was mandatory that you backed in everywhere, and you could not just pull in somewhere. But if you can pull through somewhere,
right,
then you always just pull through because you know what? You can just quickly leave that
Right.
way as well.
You can come from either way. Though one side or the other, just pull through. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yes. There you go.
Because he has short legs. He's trying to get the closest spot so he doesn't get winded when he gets in there.
You think that's the reason?
He has to get the closest spot. Exactly.
Yeah,
He's got short
yeah.
legs.
Von Nieters is he's a small man. He's not a big guy. He's one of the.
You don't gotta call him a small man.
He's a
Jesus
small
Christ.
man. He's a tiny little man.
He's not tiny.
Von Nieters is
Von
he's a
Nieters
pocket,
is tiny.
he's a pocket
He's
friend.
not
He's
tiny.
a pocket friend of mine. Yeah, he's just some tiny little man. Yeah, just
These
a
tall
pocket
guys.
friend of mine.
little buddy. Yeah.
These tall guys are really something else. All right, just a little tiny man. I'm
Yeah.
6'4". You're a literal giant.
Yeah. Nate
The weather's
Weiniger,
better up here.
Nate Weiniger always claimed he was taller than me. So finally, the last time we were together, we stood side by side.
Yeah, you're taller than Nate.
Yeah, just crashed his ego. He hated that. So yeah.
Did he?
Oh yeah,
He's wearing lips in his shoes now.
probably. Yeah, next time I
Probably.
see him, he'll tower over me.
He's always wearing cowboy boots now going forward, Steve, because of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's also quite a tall man.
He is a big guy too. Yeah, he's a tall
Like,
man.
He's
big
probably
guy.
like 6'2".
Yeah, at
But
least.
yeah, you're taller.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
think you're the tallest guy that is on the network, right?
I'm trying to think on the network people. I think so.
Are you
Mr.
taller
Bill?
than Demetrius?
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm taller than Demetrius, but
Uh,
I don't think
Mr.
he'll ever
Bill's
be on
up
a
there.
show again either. I don't. Yeah, but he's not
Whiskey
really. He's
Bill?
never even been on a show.
Whiskey
Yeah.
Bill's not taller.
He's part of the crew club, but yeah,
Yeah, but he's not taller.
yeah, I was saying, Mr. Bill. Yeah, I don't know.
Demetrius
Yeah,
is
Demetrius.
taller, but I don't think he'll ever be on again because his wife won't allow him to do Sundays anymore, and Fridays he's until he hires more people. Fridays is his night working the distillery, so I'm kind of stuck. I don't know. Maybe we're doing the week thing. Maybe I'll contact him when we record during the week.
How tall
I'd
is
say-
Ryan Thompson? He's not. I know he's not 6'4".
He's probably 6'1", I'd say. Right.
Lenny's
Yeah, he's-
taller
he's-
than you, right?
Oh yeah.
He's a dainty 6'1".
Yes, Ryan.
I had to sit down to get my picture taken with Lenny in order to make sure it wasn't awkward.
Yeah. Lenny's like the He's good for what he has, though. He feels like, he's perfect. So yeah, I bet you that guy. I bet you that guy weighs the same as he did 10 years ago. It seems like if we all around long enough to meet Lenny 25 years from now, he'll probably look pretty much larger.
He'll look exactly. He's never going to change how he looks. He's going to look the exact same. He's going to probably live to 135.
Yeah, this is true.
Because also he's not. His heart isn't working as hard to get all of his. His blood all over his body. I mean, he's just like he's compact. So he's gonna live forever because his body's just under less stress.
It is.
He's built to climb through a rick house like a spider monkey. That's for sure.
Darren talking over people again. Yep. Darren can't even help himself.
Quite a night here for Darren. Yeah, just talking over everybody. And it does the McNew thing. Once you start, you don't stop. You let the people just keep talking over them. So.
I didn't hear Tim until I was like halfway through my sentence. And I was like,
then you had to finish it. Then go ahead and finish it, right?
Yeah, just keep talking.
There you go. All right. On that note, it's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Beka. Beka, what do you got?
Yeah, let's start with me. I am drinking.
Looks like she's doing her stand-up act. She's holding her microphone tight.
Of course, she was wearing pants or not, because you didn't know for sure underneath that blanket.
Yeah.
I've got pants on, Tim.
What's the deal with airline peanuts?
What's the deal with pants? Nobody really wants to wear them. And when you come home.
Yeah, you strip them off as soon as you get through the garage. Yeah, strip them off. Pants gone.
I've got some Rolling Fork rum, since this is a rum daily. This is from Barbados.
Okay. Squeaking.
Okay.
Squeaking an okay pop. Okay. I'll go next. I've got 4 Roses here. A single barrel I picked up when I was in Kentucky last time. Jeez, that was just all squeak. I'm going to disqualify myself. That squeak was loud. That was terrible. All right. Beka has the lead because I got disqualified.
Wow.
For a foul. I got disqualified for a foul. Darren, you look like you're ready, so we'll let you go next.
I got some old pot re-row.
What? What the fuck was going on?
That's an What the fuck, Brad, are you saying?
All of a sudden he turned into Chewbacca.
It's May the 4th. Or yesterday was.
No, it's Revenge of the 5th today, Darren. My God.
It's old pot re-row.
It's railroad.
Slide on the set.
Okay, that's our
Wow.
lead. Pot re-row.
Pretty good for a brand I'm still not sure what it is.
I don't know what it is
Old
either.
Potero.
Potrero. They're in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's the
Potato.
actual one.
Oh, old
Can we see
Potrero.
the bottle, please?
So he calls it old pot re-row, or what did he say?
Yeah,
there?
that's how it's spelled.
Yeah. Yeah, but
It's a 6-year-old toasted rye at barrel strength, 133.
okay.
Huh. Okay. Well.
Darren, how do you say that ginger ale that starts with a SH? Is it Schwapipis?
It is shrimp peepees.
Shua peepees. He said peepees.
Ginger swapipis.
All right, KK, what do you got?
Well, it's funny that we were talking about Lenny. I'm going to open up his 4-grain bourbon.
Okay.
It's almost gone. I don't expect much.
Okay. All basic. Darren's still got the lead. So his first Shiriro. All right. What do you got there, Swite?
I'm still coming off my highs of Royce Neely Day. And
that was great. That was a classic.
Have some autumn vanilla from Neely Family Distillery. Swite on the set.
Nothing. Darren wins. Cheers, Darren.
Cheers.
I had a chance. Cheers.
All right. We'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about something we're very passionate about, whiskey fungus. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com.
This is Jeff Andreezy from West Central, Minnesota. You are listening to the ABB Network. This is the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about fungi.
Fungi. There's a fungus among us.
Some fungi.
Yes.
I'm Mr. Fungi.
Yes. Yeah. So, Darren, what's the scientific name of this whiskey?
So fungus? The scientific name of the whiskey fungus is Boadina copinensis.
That sounds correct.
I added a couple extra syllables, but we're good.
Boadina copinensis. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. This is the stuff, if you don't know what we're talking about, this is the stuff that appears due to the angel share. The whiskey's out in the vortex, and you see it on, rick houses and stuff like that. And then apparently, in the towns that are near a bunch of rick houses, it ends up being on the stop signs, and maybe even on their personal houses and stuff like that. So that's gets to be the complaint. When it goes beyond the reach of the distillery, and gets incorporated into that. And what do you do with that? And, there's a lot of people complaining about that stuff. Some of it's buyer beware. There's the issue of if you move near a distillery, is that kind of to be expected? I would have to say the answer is yes. Now, other things are distilleries are going through massive expansions where we're talking about rick houses being built. Maybe you didn't live anywhere near one, and all of a sudden they've decided that they are building rick houses in that area by you. And that's where it gets to be a little bit questionable. As or you could see where people might be upset with it if they weren't anticipating that, that happening. And I don't know, it's a weird thing, and people are very passionate about it. And what's been interesting is that's always been kind of just a Kentucky thing. But here recently, we're starting to see it pop up in other places like New York, in the article that we had there. And I know that Wiggly Bridge, our friends in Maine, have had some issues with that and stuff. So, what do you guys think about this as you read these things? Do you think people are just being whiny, or you think they have a real beef with the distilleries?
I think they're being whiny.
Okay.
Because I think if you choose to live close enough to a distillery that this is going to be a problem for you, I feel like you should feel like it's cool and it's different. And so what? You have to clean your white fence a little bit. I like my everything with a little bit of grunge. It doesn't have to look perfect all the time.
Right.
Rustic, and I don't know. I think it's cool.
Think of the architectural things you could do. Like if you embraced it, you could make your house look like a rick house on the outside.
Yeah.
That could be really cool.
That could be cool. That could be cool. I tell you what, I live, there's a open wooded lot between me and the house next door, causing shade on the one side of the house, and a lot of oak trees and stuff like that. And then for some reason, that there's an area behind my house where it gets that stuff on there, whatever that is, the moss, fungus type of shit, whatever it is. And I have to get it cleaned off, and it's up on the roof, in the second story and that. So I don't get on the roof for obvious reasons. And so yeah, I have to have someone come in and power wash that. So part of homeownership too is sometimes you got to power wash stuff with things that aren't in your control. There's nothing to do with me, and it might be more my neighbor's fault than anything because those trees aren't on my property. But yeah, I have to clean it up myself. I got to pay someone to do that. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that argument?
I'll say this, that if I lived somewhere and I had this big white pretty house,
okay.
And then they built some sort of a rick house next to it.
Yeah.
And so there was now my beautiful white house that I try to keep pristine started growing fungus on it. I wouldn't be thrilled. I mean, like, there's one thing to be said about, like, I decided to move close to where there was a distillery at. And so I knew that would maybe happen, but like
right.
they're popping up like random rick houses all over the place.
True.
And if I lived somewhere and I was just like, I'm a little OCD about things. And if I had a house that just all of a sudden was just filthy all the time, I wouldn't necessarily be suing them, but I would, I'd expect for the brand to pay to clean my house like twice a year, to make sure that it's not getting all this fungus growing on it, especially since it's a new thing brought into the community.
Right.
But if it already is something that was in the community, then you just need to shut up and like suck it up like that. You knew what was happening if you decided.
It feels like, don't you think, Beka, this should be addressed up front? New distillery coming to town, knowing that that this is an issue now. This isn't new to making whiskey. Yeah. This is something that's been around. And there's a couple different ways to handle it. Number one, there is tax revenue that's coming in. Is the city responsible for that? Should the city do that as they are receiving that revenues and there's money allocated? Or is it always the responsibility of the individual private business, the distillery? I don't know. It feels like the best solution would be to create a fund from the tax that funds something into the city. That way, it feels like people are less inclined to try to take advantage of a city versus a private business. I feel, and they'll take advantage of both, clearly, but I don't know. I don't think they want to screw around with the city, because that's the problem. A lot of these situations have been remedied with the distilleries being willing to pay for, doing the power washing. But then it keeps going further and further. Wherever the cutoff line is, the people who are right behind the cutoff line are like, they need to clean my house too. So that's a line that never stops, because whoever just gets cut off, the next people behind that want theirs clean too. So.
It's really a sticky situation, honestly, because it is like, what is the answer to it? I think that your house getting cleaned off is the answer. Who pays for it? I wouldn't really care. I just want my house cleaned off. If in fact they moved in after I had moved in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becky, I mean, you make a good point. I mean, this conversation is captivating. The problem is the cities don't have much room for error here, because especially the building was there. They knew what was going on. The city planners didn't ask the questions. But I do think this is really more of folks. You get the EPA involved in each of these stories. They get the EPA involved. It's almost like getting Al Capone on tax evasion. You get the EPA involved. They're not necessarily educated, nor should they be. They should be educated on what this fungus is, what is it doing, why does it collect, is it are there health concerns? Do we know about this? If you're going to be a truffle maker on this, make sure you educate yourself first, and then go from there. But to your point, if my building was here first, and then this rick house shows up not that far away, like what happened, I believe, with Jack Daniels when they built those new ones closer to the residential area, and then all of a sudden it's showing up on my patio furniture. Yeah, I'm not going to be too happy wiping that stuff off all the time and try to figure it out myself.
Yeah.
As you figure it there.
It would piss me off if I was already there. And all of a sudden, all my stuff it has black. What I'm assuming some sort of black mold that's gonna like kill me because I'm a vodka drinker and so I have no idea. And I'm like, what the fuck is this stuff?
But it's like, educate yourself. If you don't trust the corporation of the small business in your community, how the hell you think you're going to trust the government on the same topic? Think about that. It's like, okay, I don't know who to believe on any of this stuff. And if you're using the EPA to strong arm people out of business and change things around, worst case scenario, everybody's getting their houses painted black, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Hidden barns.
Yeah, hidden barns. So, yeah, this is definitely a hot topic. It's something that, not necessarily bourbon fans are very concerned about. It's the people that are impacted that are most concerned, I believe. I always think it's almost kind of romantic for bourbon fans. You go to like Four Roses and like the trees are kind of black there. You're like, oh, that's cool, man. Or you go to Evan Hill through all the rick houses and you see that black creeping up. You're like, oh man, that must be
Maker's Mark.
Yeah, Maker's Mark. Yeah,
it's beautiful to us.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's beautiful, I think, to probably a lot of people, but it's not necessarily beautiful to you if
people
you
dealing with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so when we went to Jack Daniel's, Steve, every time I saw it, I pointed it out to Evan. I was like, look at the branch. It has the black mold. That's so cool. And it's just growing on everything in the middle of the distillery. I love it.
Yeah, I know. That's the way I feel too. It's like, it's cool.
For full disclosure, I don't think anybody here outside, I guess one person does live next to a distillery on this podcast right now. So you know for sure what you're dealing with, but you're also in the business. So it makes sense. But Steve, your point on the other types of fungus or mold that grows due to other things that you got to deal with every single year. It's part of it's a little bit of the cost of doing business on where you're at and where you built your house or where you bought into. And it's like, stop passing the buck on somebody else when if you bought into it, you didn't do your research, or that realtor didn't fully disclose to you, or it's a pain in the ass, but it's not hard to get off either.
Yeah. So there you go. It all the studies, and again, that's if you trust the entities doing the studies, but all the studies come back. This mold is harmless. Now, where it gets confusing and kind of scary is you think about the black mold that's in your house associated with rain getting in, and then they always just refer to that as black mold.
Yes.
And that of course
Different
is dangerous.
spore.
That's the problem with normal people not understanding Latin names, and there's a difference between everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Tirade. That brings out my old man anger.
Oh,
here we go.
There we go.
It always used to be a thing.
If only you could pronounce the Latin names.
Yeah.
So what I told all of my kids during dendrology is Latin's a dead language. There is no right way to pronounce everything. If it helps you remember it, say it. Now, that did lead to a couple kids putting Pinus strocus on the test, and I was like, no, that's not right. It's Pinus strobus, not Pinus strocus. But anyway, that's beside the point. It's just people like
we've all gone down that strocus rabbit hole before.
Mountain lions are all the same thing, and people think because it's called a mountain lion, a puma, a cougar, a Florida panther, everything like that. They think they're all different species when they're really just the same thing. And if you could take 15 seconds, you don't even have to know the Latin name. We have these things in our pockets called phones where you can Google, hey, what is the Latin name of this? And then you can understand how the world works so much better.
Okay.
Anyway.
That limousine oak in Northern Ohio is the same damn limousine oak in France.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
well said, Darren. Educate yourself about it first.
Educate. There you go. Well, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Darren, step off your soapbox and tell us where we can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at The Bourbon Adventures.
All right, Tim.
You can find me fanning the flames to make Darren speak more on his soapbox at Instagram at SwagGuy2112 and on YouTube at Our Flagship Whiskey.
All right, Kathy.
You can find me on Instagram at KKCastStrength.
Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more. ABVnetwork.com. Come by and see us, the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. We're always getting new picks in, fun stuff in, so check us out online, abvbarrelshop.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye, y'all.
See you, everyone.
Bye.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.